welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Board. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well today, Brian. Thank you for asking. Nice little hump day action, May 10th. Can't believe it's May 10th, dude. Sun is shining. The AC's on. We're comfy. Tough night for Mets fans, but hey, it was a good night for sports with the boys, dude.
Yeah, had a good time watching the games. Maybe Michael, not so much with the Devils, but I think
he was fine.
The time, didn't enjoy the result. That's what what I was getting at. But so much to talk about. Between the Yankees, the Mets, obviously NBA, NHL playoffs, and then we also do have the AT&T Byron Nelson golf tournament from McKinney, Texas, which is northeast of Dallas. That getting underway tomorrow. So we will start with a preview of that tournament and history on the line here, as K.H. Lee is looking to become, I believe, the first golfer since the 1930s to win his first 3 PGA Tour events at the same tournament. He's won this event the last 2 years and really dominating the field. He was 26 under par last year. The year before, he was 25 under par. And if you look at the 2 previous years before that, you had Kang Sun Hoon, who was 23 under par, and Aaron Wise, who was 23 under par. So, an event that if you go back a little bit, the scores were more in the mid-teens. Now we've been over 20 under par here for the last 4 years. So seems like it's a course that the golfers are able to attack, able to put up some low numbers. So it should be interesting to see what they can do here. And for the guys who are playing this tournament, that last tune-up before we head to Rochester, New York, for the Oak Hill PGA Championship next week, the second major championship of the season. In terms of who we have in the field, obviously we already mentioned K.H. Lee, but we do have Scotty Scheffler, who's arguably had the best golf season of all the golfers this year. Him and Rahm up there. Rahm not playing in this tournament, but you also have Tom Kim, Matt Kuchar, Tom Hoagie, fresh off a missed cut last week, Jason Day, Adam Scott, Seamus Power, Terrell Hatton, Hideki Matsuyama, Brandon Wu, Christian Bezenholt, Jimmy Walker, Dylan Wu, and Adam Hadwin, as well as Min Woo Lee, still looking to earn full status on the PGA Tour.
Any relation to KH?
No relation.
Siwoo
Kim as well, and Aaron Wise, who I just mentioned, won back in 2018. So different type of field. A couple of names we're familiar with, but overall more of the kind of the middle echelon of the PGA Tour.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like the I don't want to say B-list people, right?
But B-list,
yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see too, if any of these guys, benefit from playing in this tournament and end up, having a strong performance in Rochester next week. What do you think? Maybe last second tickets, Tony?
To Rochester, you want to go?
Grounds passes?
How much money are we talking right now, do you think?
Well, I think it's one of those things, probably, how they like reserve things. So like maybe face value, it's only like $100 or whatever, but resale. I actually want to just see. I have a feeling I'm going to check on my phone.
Are they on Game Time? These
I'm gonna see. I mean, everything's on Game Time at this point. Game Time has really come on strong the last couple of years.
Yeah, I know. Literally out of the woodworks, I feel too.
Yeah,
so.
I had never heard of it. Let's see. So PGA Championship. Okay, so what it is basically your lowest price is going to be grounds pass. I think 189 a ticket. So maybe not as much as I had thought. Yeah, 189 a ticket. So not too bad. I know, when they're reselling these Masters tickets, they're into the thousands. So 189, not terrible. Obviously a little elevated. But it would be so cool to see that course. I know it's historic, and I know Matt said, when he passed by, I guess it was last month, that it looked, immaculate. And I know it's, a storied course, they only have, the PGA Championship there. It's not like they have a yearly tournament, so it doesn't come around more than like every 7 or 8 years. 5.5 hours right now to Oak Hill Country Club, Tony.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, it's a ride. That's why I was saying flights, Rochester.
I would make that drive. 5.5 is nothing, dude.
But it's too bad that the Sabres aren't in the playoffs, because we could have tied it in, because it's not that far from Buffalo.
Oh God, dude, that would have been sick.
Before I ask for your pick for this tournament, any early inkling of who you're kind of thinking for that second major of the season?
I mean, honestly, dude, I was thinking Scotty.
Yeah.
At heart here, but I mean, I didn't know the thing about KH Lee.
But no. You're saying for this tournament. I was talking about for next week.
Oh, for Rochester?
I'm saying, obviously Rahm and Scheffler have dominated. Rory struggled. Spieth looking to complete the career Grand Slam. Phil fresh off that tied for second with Brooks Koepka, who also is a 2-time PGA champion. So there's a lot of names that I love. It really makes it so exciting with the live guys, since we don't see them ever.
Yeah, no, that is true. It really does make it exciting. And it seems like that these live guys also, I mean, you saw in the Masters, I mean, they played pretty well.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially Phil. Everyone.
Yeah, dude, unbelievable, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I hate to go John Rahm, but I mean,
yeah, I mean, you got a week to revise.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Mickelson is kind of tempting too.
That would be ridiculous. And it would be 2 PGA championships in 3 years, because he won at Kiowa, before being forced to sit out last year with the whole live situation. Are you, based off that strong performance by him and Koepka, though, are you kind of getting the feel that it's going to happen this year, that a live golfer is going to win one of these majors? Or
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Might even be next week.
Yeah, literally. I don't know if it's like they're more motivated now to kind of like stick it to the PGA, or if they're just like motivated to be able to come back to more PGA events or something like that. But for some reason, they're playing really strong. So
yeah. And what would you say, like, out of all these things you'd rather see? So Phil win again, Brooks pick up his 5th major, or Spieth complete the career Grand Slam?
Jordan Spieth. Just
because it's been a rough few years. He's making his way back to kind of finally say he's back.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, he seems like a great guy too. So I'd love to see that.
Yeah, Phil and Brooks don't seem as much of great guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to say though, golf was exciting when Koepka was like at the top and like talking smack and stuff.
No, I mean, he was kind of like a different, again, like the way he's built, the way he drives. I mean, he's built like a fucking linebacker. The guy's huge.
Yeah, he pounds the ball.
Yeah, dude.
The intensity, and it was just so funny too. Going into that final round at Kiowa, with him and Phil right at the top there, he was basically like calling his shot that like I've been in this position so many times before, and then
there's something about seeing him choke though that's kind of satisfying.
Yeah, because if you think about that, last year he didn't even come close, but then that was the last time he was close at that PGA. So really going to be interesting to see what he brings. But as far as this tournament, I mean, you kind of alluded to it. You're thinking Scheffler here, huh?
I think I'm going to go with Lee, though.
Oh, you're going to go Lee?
I think I'm going to go KH Lee for the trips, dude. Wow. First time since 1930 something, you said?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
All right. So KH Lee. I'm going to try to do something different to actually hit this, because I feel like all
Jason
the time. Day? No. I've tried that a couple times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with it's a crazy wild card, and he won the PGA. At this point, I want to say it was 8 years ago or something like that. I'm gonna go with Jimmy Walker.
Wow,
he was kind of burst on the scene. I mean, it's a complete oddball selection, But I feel like that's what you have to do with these. It's, other than when Rahm and Scheffler on heaters, then, you go with them. But for these type of tournaments, you definitely have to, just go with something a little different. So I think that should be, I think that gives me a pretty good shot.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to see, too, if there's I'm sure if there was anybody of note, they would have had it in the power rankings. I was just looking general tee times here. But it doesn't appear. Let me just see really quick.
7:50 starts tomorrow.
Yeah, 7:50 tomorrow. But yeah, looking at this, I think that there's a lot of like alternates and not anybody of familiarity, but
Matsuyama at 8:30.
Yeah, Matsuyama. And it's crazy too because he's been pretty inconsistent. Since he won the Masters a few years back. So I know he's been dealing with a neck injury, even going with the brace on the course.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully he's all right. Hideki, one of the more popular players on the PGA Tour, but definitely getting pumped for the PGA. This will be a nice warm up here. And it'll be interesting to see what Scotty can do. Does he maybe win this tournament, as a warm up and maybe go back to back, something we haven't seen too much either. So a lot on the line. This will get underway tomorrow.
Jimmy Walker.
Can he make the return to glory? That would be one of the more unexpected wins. Like a Chris Kirk. Look at what happened, Bonds? What do you think he's talking about? Did he just comment this now?
Yeah, literally like a minute ago.
Yeah, any sense of
what happened, Barnes? I don't know. Maybe he's just like wondering what we're talking about in general. I don't know.
I'm sure he'll tell us in a second. But yeah, so that's what we got from TPC Craig Ranch. The PGA player.
And
I guess I'm guessing. I think it's just like a neck strain.
Oh, wow.
Like trying to like.
Then he says, "You fool."
he just stretching it out. I mean that would make the most sense.
Yeah, that is so weird. He was like hard neck brace.
Yeah, like bulky neck brace.
He was golfing.
Yeah, but I mean that's the type of thing you like to see. The heart of the competitor.
I don't like to see that at all. I would rather not see anyone in neck brace.
No, but I'm saying a guy.
I know what you're saying. Yes. But now Matthew comes in, more confusion. Who, bro? What player, for fuck's sake? He says.
Former Masters champion Hideki Matsuyama.
Matt, you better watch your fucking language, buddy.
Yeah, you can be a little more professional, Matthew.
Honestly, dude.
Oh my god. But yeah, so we'll give you a leaderboard update tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's be sick.
But we are in full swing here on the PGA Tour. We're getting out there next week. Is the driving range still in play after Craig today?
Yeah, I think so.
Clubs in the car?
No.
Stone's throw.
Gotta go. Yeah. Stone's throw. Dude.
But then by the time you pick him up, might as well go to Fairchilds. I feel like instead of I mean, I just want to see you're chipping, right? A world-class facility, Tony. I feel like it makes too much sense.
I know. No, it would be nice, dude. It really would be. But we'll see if it's in the cards.
What would you say percentage?
To go, I don't know. 45%.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, it seems like there's a chance there.
That's a pretty big chance right there. Almost 50-50 right there, dude.
What's the higher percentage? That or Scherzer having a quality start the next time he pitches?
Probably going golf.
I feel like that's a good segue to go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Skip! And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game! Out of sight!
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Too deep to left field. There it goes! See ya!
All right. A couple more comments here.
Yeah, you want to hear from Matthew here?
Yeah.
He says, no language. Watch your mouth. Gonna wash it out with soap. Barnes, I think I'm going to use your irons next week if you don't mind.
Of course.
Mine are too small, he says.
Of
Can't
course,
do
of
it.
course.
And then Al comes in here. Someone check it out on Frank the Tank, RIP, Mets 2023.
Yeah, that good to hear from Al. And yeah, that it's tough. It's tough right now. And we were watching, the hockey game last night, the Yankees and the Mets. So we kind of saw it all last night, and it's coming up just short. We'll talk about that in a
Do you
sec.
follow Frank the Tank at all from Barstool?
No, I just am I don't know if I'm just biased, but is it just me, or is he just like not funny? It's like, oh, Mets are done. Oh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's so funny about that?
I don't know. Sometimes he's funny with like his rants and stuff.
But you could see why sometimes I'm saying he's a little extra, where it's just like, all right, like how many times do we have to see this?
Yes, no, he is a little extra.
Oh, the Mets are done. Like, his eyes are barely open. It's
right.
Like, I don't know. I guess you're offended, Tony.
I mean, there's like something wrong with him, right?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
If there is, then I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of that.
I kind of, again, like I just kind of thought there was. I'm sorry if I think there is and it's not.
Oh my God.
But Fur, by the way, says, "Hey fellas, nice Yankees vlog." Barnes, he says.
Appreciate that, Fur. We had to do a little editing after the show, Terry. But anyway, on the diamond last night, we saw the Yankees 10-5 over the Oakland A's. So taking the second game of this 3-game series, Clark Schmidt on the hill. And
impressed? Did he impress you? Yes or no? I know it's the A's, but
I guess mildly, because how bad he had been, and this was the first time in his career that he was able to pitch to a quality start. But just kind of summarizing how we got there, as he has in most of his starts this season, struggling early, second inning, allowing a run there on a Jace Peterson single. But fortunately, the Yankees were able to answer back in the third in a big way. 5 runs. You had a Judge fielder's choice, a Rizzo single, a Glaber single, and who else but Harrison Bader, who's just been on fire, with a single. And then Jake Bowers also hit a sac fly. So that made it 5-1. You go to the fourth inning. Diaz on the A's, somebody that Jordan Diaz, someone that I've never heard of, hit his first of 3 home runs in the fourth inning. So really almost the entire A's offense here. So that made it 5-2. Fortunately, Glaber able to answer back there in the fifth to make it 7-2. Seems like he's been heating up. So 7-2, Schmidt makes it through 6. So his final line, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Like I said, his first quality start of his career and the first win for him this season. Diaz with another home run in the 7th. This was the left center. So that made it, 7-3 Yankees. Jake Bowers answering back, his second career home run as a Yankee, 420 feet to left center. A lot of people were, just impressed by the power, lefty to go to left center in Yankee Stadium. I mean, that's where a lot of fly balls die. So I know his average isn't too great just yet. He's had limited at bats, but everyone's envisioning with that sweet lefty swing that he could do some damage for the Yankees. So that made it 9-3. Diaz hits another home run in the 8th inning. Greg Weissert hangs a slider. That actually got him optioned back to AAA Scranton after the game. And Devi Garcia has actually been brought up. He's been converted to a reliever. I know mixed results. But it's crazy. I've talked about it with Matt, just in terms of like mentally, I don't know if it really took a toll on him, being lifted after 1 inning in that playoff start against the Rays back in 2020. And then they go to J.A. Happ. Hasn't been the same since then, but I've always thought I would like to see him as a reliever. So we do get that opportunity. Judge made it 10-5 with a sac fly, to right in the bottom of the 8th. And then on to the 9th. Weissert in trouble again. I think he walked the leadoff batter. In comes Clay Holmes, and he's able to get a strikeout, a walk, and then 2 strikeouts. So he strikes out the side. which was nice to see. And that was it. And it seems like he's kind of, coming back a little bit here. And like I've mentioned, these non-safe situations I think are good for him. And then of course, I mean, going against the A's, you have your best chance of success. So refreshing to see that, refreshing to get a series win and get back to 3 games over 500, go for the sweep this afternoon. So like I said yesterday, I mean, you can't celebrate these wins against the A's too much, but it's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're doing. And then just offensively, I've mentioned this, the last couple of years too. It's like, even though it's maybe unimpressive because it's the A's, but just any type of success offensively after what they had to deal with the past, week and a half, is going to be a confidence boost. And you love to see that. You love to see Glaber, seemingly locked in, and then how on fire Harrison Bader has been. I mean, it's unbelievable. We talked about it yesterday. And then another great game out of him. So he just keeps on going. And like I said, they'll go for the sweep today. Any input here, Tony?
Yeah, dude. I mean, to see Bader kind of, not only perform offensively but defensively too. You have to see that. And I think as far as Clark Schmidt goes, I know, like you were saying, you're mildly impressed. I think that was pretty huge because we've seen him face the A's before. We've seen him not do well against poor teams. I think that stat that is the first time he's made it through the 6th inning in his entire career. I think that speaks a lot to maybe his work and maybe what you could see from him. So I think it's a great step in the right direction. And of course, like you said, yes, you don't really celebrate a win against the A's, but I mean, a win is still a win. These are games that you should be winning. You should be winning by, probably more than 3 or 4 runs, which you did here tonight. So you got business done. It kind of sucks about Abreu, honestly. It just hasn't really looked good, I feel like, at all. And he's got such gas. He throws absolute fire. He's got good attitude, but I guess the location of his fastball just isn't there right now.
Yeah.
Confidence. Lacks confidence.
Yeah, it is a shame. He does have the arm, and you just don't know, I mean, we saw him for spurts last year, really kind of hone in, and have some success. But yeah, when you're walking people, I mean, it's just going to lead to trouble. And, the struggles that the Yankees have had this year, you don't have a margin for error. You don't want to have to deal with that. So it'll be interesting to see. He did, I know, ghost runner, nothing you could do, but he was on the hill and he left that single. I guess it was on Sunday when the Rays walked off the Yankees in extra innings. So, hasn't been that great lately. But like I said, feel good about the offense, feel great about Bader, 3 for 4, hitting 440. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then Jake Bauers is going to give you something. That's just a big boost. And of course, having Aaron Judge back, that doesn't hurt either. But like I said, we'll go for the series sweep today. 12:35, Johnny Brito against Kyle Muller. 2 pitchers with ERAs over 6. Muller coming in 6.62, Brito 6.08. I think this is a good spot, kind of like the offense, how we've seen them gain some confidence, hitting against this weak Oakland pitching. It's the same thing for Brito. This lineup, other than, of course, we know Diaz with the 3 home runs yesterday, really is not strong. So if he could get a quality start, which would be the first of his career, that would be huge. And they did actually release the lineups here. So just to give you an idea, and I think this is a pretty strong lineup for the Yankees. I like the way they've configured it. So we got Volpe, Judge, Rizzo, LeMahieu, Torres, Bader, IKF, Higashioka, and Cabrera. So I think that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, 7, 8, 9. Specifically IKF and Higgy are a little weak, but Oswaldo has had a tough start, but we saw him hit the home run the other day. It seems like he's making his way back, and he obviously had a big impact on the Yankees last year with his energy, that home run in Cleveland that he had as well. So I like that lineup, and I like their chances for a sweep, and I'll give you an exact prediction in a sec. But before I do that, if you could speak to the Mets' disappointing 7-6 loss in Cincinnati yesterday, Tony.
Yeah, I can probably speak to that a little bit here, Brian. Going into yesterday's game, one of the biggest storylines was what's Scherzer going to do, what's he going to do, and then I don't know, maybe like 4 o'clock or something like that. They announced that Scherzer was scratched, woke up, I guess, either yesterday or this morning. I kind of forget now. With neck spasms. And we know, the reports of him trying to battle through some injury, feeling some discomfort in his shoulder and his like scap and stuff like that. So, I guess really not a huge surprise that maybe they scratched him, but it's kind of unfortunate, looking forward to that start. David Peterson gets the nod here against the Reds, and he does basically anything but putting the Mets into a position to win. Again, we know the Reds have won this game 7-6, just to kind of show you how the Reds got there. As I mentioned, Pearson didn't start off the game right, as so many times. I feel like I keep talking about this every goddamn day, where the Mets just do not start a game off on the right foot and give up runs immediately in the first. Bottom of the first, you get an RBI single by Stevenson. Senzel, scores. He comes in. That makes it 1-0. Pearson ends up getting out of the inning. There's like a ground double play action, whatever, has good defense behind him. Bottom of the second inning, Pearson's come back in here. India grounds that RBI ground out. Newman scores that same inning. Senzo reaches an infield single, bringing someone else in. That makes it 3-0. I think by the third inning, I want to say Peterson threw like 70 something pitches, struggling with locations. Anything that was, any fastball, he couldn't really locate it well. So a lot of batters are fouling off his fastball, extending at bats, obviously riding up his pitch count. But top of the third there, we get some life out of our offense of our young boys. We have Francisco Alvarez with a 386-foot home run. Cutting that deficit from 3 down to 2.
Good spot for him.
Love to see it. Great spot for him against the Reds. Brian said it. I know he's got a lot riding on his fantasy teams and everything like that. So, but it's great to see that out of Alvarez. Like we were saying, I'm just happy he started and everything. Like I said, getting him as many looks as possible was great.
Average up to 241. It was in the ones.
In the past 15 games, he's been batting 290.
Yeah,
it's awesome, dude. But bottom of the fourth, the Reds answer again. India doubles to left. Brings in a runner, makes that 4-1 again. Same inning. We have an RBI triple, a 2 RBI triple, I believe, makes it 6-1. Bottom of the fifth now, India gets back up again. A sac fly RBI by him, makes it 7-1, and obviously really abysmal at this point. You're kind of down in the dumps. No pitching is working. Top of the sixth, we see some life again from who? Francisco Alvarez, second dinger of the night. There in the top of the sixth, 388 feet. Only a solo shot, though, making it 7-2. Top of the seventh, Alonso gets a nice homer as well, making it 7-3. Bottom of the seventh, Marcana kind of grounds to double play, but I think there was a error, by someone in the field. And Beatty ends up scoring. That makes it 4-7, and there's some life going on here. Next inning, top of the eighth, Lindor homers, 2-run, 414 feet, makes it 7-6. And you're thinking, all right, let's fucking go here. That was top of the eighth. Let's get to the bottom. It's a 1-run game right now. Bottom of the ninth comes in. You saw, we were watching it. Last out of the game, Marcana comes up with there's 2 men on. I forget it. I think it's Vogelback. I think bases were loaded, actually. It's Vogelback, Marte, and Alonso. And kind of just ends up flying out, I think, to right field or whatever. Absolute gut-wrenching loss there to kind of see the Mets somewhat try and come back. Facilitated really nice in the back end of the game. I mentioned all the scoring, and again, I know, I was saying, Peterson set us up for absolutely nothing. His final line was 3 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, only 4 Ks, through 87 pitches over 3 1/3 innings. Whatchamacallit, bullpen did okay.
The Nagasek.
Yeah, Nagasek came in for an inning and 2/3, 3 earned runs. Again, we saw him kind of touch his fastball. That looked good, but he relies on breaking balls way too often, and the Reds were hitting him well, but the rest of the bullpen, Brigham, Ottavino, and Drew Smith as well, all did well in the back end of that game. Again, like we've seen so many times throughout this season for the Mets, starting pitching is not there, and the only reason why we somewhat can, keep the score limited is because of our bullpen. Usual suspects here. Again, I guess an off night by Seth, but He's kind of been imploding a little bit out of the bullpen. I think maybe overused, perhaps. Who knows? But you still expect, like, again, for a bullpen to set you up for you to come that close, you gotta some way find out to have some clutch hitting. Like, you really do. That's what it was. They pinch hit Guillorme. Check swing went past the plate for the final out.
Yeah, right.
That was a 3-2 pitch too, I think.
It was. Yeah.
Terrible look, dude. And he did go past the plate too. So good call by the third base umpire rather. But again, on a check swing strikeout, I mean, that's so brutal to end the game. And again, to be so close, to see Alvarez absolutely like
best game of his career.
Literally best game of his career. Lindor did well, 2 for 5 with the home run. Some other guys like Beatty didn't do too well, but he got on base. Marte had honestly a solid night. It was 2 for 4. He was one of those clutch hits in the 9th to set up the team. But it's like, I don't know. Connor was 0 for 3. Vogelback was 0 for 2, which is like, they've not really been showing up at all. You got to get more out of McNeil. I mean, 0 for 4. I understand he's been in big spots before this year, even hitting well. He was on a streak. Brendan Nimmo is someone who got absolutely ice cold since the Rockies series. He was 0 for 4 last night. I mean, these guys got to find a way to bounce back. We need offense immediately. We need it like a lot. Like yesterday, we needed it. Okay. So, a really tough loss. With Peterson starting to, obviously in your head, you're thinking, oh, like, even if Scherzer started, like, he may have had a better line than 3 to third, 4 runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, you're on to the next game. You have Verlander tonight. They're going to assess the situation for Scherzer. Possibly could start tomorrow, push back Senga. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopeful for Verlander. Again, like, I was talking to you yesterday too. When he heard that Scherzer wasn't starting, he was like the first man to be like, yo, I'll start tonight. Like, let's go. I'm in there. Short 1 day rest. I don't care. Like, so that's kind of good. He must feel good.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Verlander must feel healthy. His line, really, his last game, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, I think, maybe. For his first game back, pitches were limited. I think only threw like 77, 78. We need length out of him for sure tonight, kind of save some of our bullpen, which I think we'll get. So I'm pretty hopeful for tonight, but obviously you look at that game last night to come so close against a team like the Reds. It's actually, super embarrassing that this part of our schedule where, it's the Tigers, the Rockies, the Reds, the Nationals, and we're just dropping games, losing series to these shit ass teams. It's not good. There's nothing really good, and it makes me really upset and angry. But I guess we'll see. We're on to tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you could do. And
there's a lot of comments here.
Believe me, if anybody knows what that feels like, it's me. But yeah, let's catch up on the comments. And Al has a couple questions for you. I'm sure Renee would like to offer her opinion as well as she walks in. But I want let's start with Al here. He suggests a couple of things. I'm just kind of curious, Met fan to Met fan, kind of what your thoughts are on these.
Sure, yeah. Here, let's see. He says, I know Trevor Bauer just got lit up in his last outing overseas with the Mets in desperation mode to sign him. I actually really haven't been tracking him. The fact that he does get lit up overseas, that can't be great.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened to him though? Like, I understand. I mean, I know what happened to him, like, obviously outside of baseball and everything, but I mean, it wasn't like he was a shitty pitcher before he left the league and everything.
No, and I mean, we can't go off one star. Plus, I mean, you think about a guy who's, making $30-40 million as a Major League Baseball pitcher, and then he's going to Japan. It's just like you're used to one thing, and then you're summoned over there, so I'm sure that's tough for him. I honestly think, you think about too how old he is. Like, what is he, around like 31 or something, right?
Yeah, gotta be.
I would be confident he would perform, and it's also somebody's going to give him an opportunity. The Mets are banged up,
right?
I think this is something like some chance you have to just take,
right? And I do agree, and I think you can kind of get him for. Like, what do you don't have to give up probably anything for him.
No. I mean, I don't know what the deal is like with the release from overseas, but it's like also if you just factor that into how much you're paying him, whatever, like his penalty is. I mean, I'm sure you could work that out. So
yeah,
I think it's worth it.
I think it's something to look out for sure. And I think we could actually tie in also what Al said here. Also, big talk about Mauricio and Vientos coming up to try and fuel the offense, but they're both infielders. How does Tony feel about trading one or both of them to address huge pitching issue? I definitely wouldn't trade both of them. Because I know I was talking about this maybe last week with you that, Beatty has seen some looks in the outfield rather. And
right.
I mean, dude, we're in desperate need of like a decent outfielder. You'll get Kana and obviously Marte as somewhat of liabilities in the outfield. Kana can't fucking throw, dude. He doesn't have a good arm from the outfield to throw someone out like at home or anything like that. Again, I don't know where Beatty can really sit with that. But if you could maybe throw him in for Kana and then third base is open, you can bring in either Vientos or Mauricio at third. And then maybe at that point, think about trading one of them. They've both been absolutely raking in the minors, like killing it on offense.
It's like, how is this even a conversation? How are they not just here?
Like how they not just brought up already? Again, like you can have spots for them. Bring them up even just at DH.
Yeah, and also,
like, what the hell is that about?
Guys,
dude?
Younger players, are athletic. Everybody can play the outfield at this point. It's not like how it used to be. Oh, you're only an infielder. We've seen it. I mean, I know, obviously, poor example, but IKF being in the outfield, like, he never played outfield. Like, they can adapt. They can do it.
They can adapt. So that's why I'm hesitant to trade one or both of them. I understand, attacking the pitching issue is something that has to happen. So maybe like testing Bauer first, keeping your Vientos and Mauricio, and seeing what they could do for you. Because again, like, I mean, DH is also a huge hole in your lineup. I mean, Vogelback is not really doing anything. Tommy Pham isn't. Timo Castro, I think, is still on the IL. So, I mean, it's like you don't really have a pinch runner that can come in with any speed. Vientos and Mauricio are both speedy players too. I think just getting them on the bench in the dugout, like some type of experience, I would bring them both up immediately and see what they can do. Yeah, that's like in-house offense right there. And again, like, you can kind of bank on still the fact that, hopefully like Scherzer can kind of get healthy and pitch well. I think the fact that he's injured is a good thing to me. It's not that he just sucks. Like, he's battling through an injury. That's totally fine. So I like that. And yeah, I mean, take a flyer on Bauer. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of backlash for bringing him in, but I mean, if he comes in and pitches well,
come on, short of murder, and I mean, it's like everybody ends up getting a second chance. That's what I'm saying.
Even murderers sometimes do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if OJ Simpson's on the fam sooner than later, right?
Yeah, dude. More comments here. Prefer. Don't forget Buck getting rung up. Yeah, Buck did get
first career ejection as a Met.
As a Met. That was pretty cool to see. I guess. I don't think really. I forget who it was, but it was like hit the middle infield and Lindor plays it, and they said that the runner running the second on the Reds like hit the ball before, and honestly, it kind of looked like it was the right call.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like he didn't really interfere with Lindor that much or the path of the ball. So I don't know. I mean, good for Buck getting out there and defending his players and such. But again, like, it's not like they won or anything. So Jay Bird said, when are they going to try to get rid of Vogelback? Dude, it's he says he's just a bump on a log.
And we were talking about last night. It looks like all that baby fat's come back, huh?
Yeah, dude, he looks fucking huge again. And again, that was like one of the big things. I don't know. Again, I don't know.
You were so riled. You're so proud of him.
Literally, saw the photos online. Like, he lost like 30 pounds. Like, looking good, dude. We gotta be better shape. Maybe can be a little bit more of a threat around the bases or something. And I don't know what. Like the Mets, like trainers, dietitians, I don't know what they're doing if they're just super at the wheel here, but you got to figure something up. But I mean, at this point, get him out. Like, get him out now, like tonight.
We don't have another second.
Yeah, we don't have another second. Call up Vientos right now. Put him at the DH spot. Like you don't need Vogelback. It's not like, what good is he? Yeah, he got on base in the ninth last night. Drew a walk. That's cool.
Right.
But
there's no reason.
No reason.
No need. Just.
But for now, Nogasek got screwed up by the umps. The runner slapped Lindor's glove away to stop a double play. Nogasek got lit up after the umps blew the call. See, I don't know. I didn't see that. Again, like, it didn't really seem like the base runner necessarily hit like his glove. It seemed like the ball was already past Lindor, and Lindor just wasn't really going to be able to play it anyway. So I didn't think the umps blew that call. But again, that's what I saw. And of course, yes, Nogasek getting blown up after that. I mean, whose fault is that, though? It's kind of his fault. Like, he should be pitching better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Yeah, dude. And then out comes in Mark Vientos, 11th home run, 11 home runs, excuse me, this season in AAA.
Maybe they should send him down to single A, kind of retool a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
So you stop hitting so many home runs.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
And again, like you bring up Vientos like at DH.
Yeah.
80 goes to left field. Maurice are gonna be at third.
Vogelback
gone, dude.
Yeah.
You can even throw McNeil in right field if Marte isn't,
Yeah. I mean,
and then put Vientos at second. Like
it's right there.
It is there, dude. You could really do it so easy. You should just try it. Before Trevor Bauer got lit up, but Cade 8 people in 6 innings.
He's fine.
So, that'd be fine. Nifty NFT Company. I haven't heard from him in a while. What up, fam? Miss you guys. Hope all is well. Everyone has a blessed day. You too, Nifty.
Same to you.
But then he goes, "Let's go Astros." By the way, before says, "Yo, Nifty."
We're not gonna cheer that.
No. Let's go Astros, dude.
I
wonder how do they do last night? The Astros,
they won.
Framber Valdez. Fuck.
Yeah. But made me think of it, even though he's not in the Astros anymore, but used to be. Do you see? I guess Correa is really hearing it from the Minnesota faithful. He's hitting 185, like just not doing anything.
Good, dude.
Grounded out to end the game last night.
Do you think it's because he doesn't want to be there at all?
No, I mean, maybe whatever these medical things, maybe that's bothering him right now. Why? I mean, come on. I mean, even if he's having an off year, he's not a 185 hitter. Maybe
I
only
know
260. I mean, 185. I mean, obviously it's early, but
right.
That is a possibility that's bothering him.
Yeah, no, it is. And again, you think about how he played last year with the Twins, like but he was. It seemed like he was fighting to go somewhere better.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
It's like what is he fighting for now?
It's like one of those things where it's like it's like it's a third option at the end of the day. It's like
literally.
It's I don't know how
could have been even lower than a third option.
I guess it's just these big free agents haven't chosen Minnesota, so maybe they at least feel good about that. Who knows? Hard to get in the mind of a Minnesota Twin fan. But that being said, Tony, last night I went 3-0. You went 1-2. So you have a 1-point lead over me, 37-36, as we got the June 1st deadline in play. Are you backing Verlander against Hunter Green?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Hands down, bar none, without any question, doubt in my mind. Scherzer. Verlander's going to throw an absolute gem tonight, 6:40 game, by the way. I'm thinking from him, like, honestly, like 7 innings. I want to see 7 innings out of him. Like 95, 98 pitches. That would be great. Just absolutely fanning people left and right, just dialed in, dude. I mean, he's the one really good pitcher right now that I feel like we can kind of lean on. So let's go. And I think offense, I mean, Alvarez, I think having another great night would be huge, obviously, to be like, oh, no, let's get another 2 home runs, whatever. I think it's a little crazy. But, maybe like another 3 for 4 night or a 2 for 3 night, a couple RBIs, just keep it simple, like just make some good contact. Don't be like, I'm just hoping like, we see a lot of rookies too sometimes who have a big game and then they get kind of angsty because they're like, oh, like I just played pretty big last night. Like I want to do that again tonight.
Overswinging.
Yeah, overswinging. You can see them. They're just like tight. They're just like tight up, up on the mound and everything, or at the plate rather. So hopefully, just take a deep breath, Alvarez. Just, again, like, do what you're doing. Stay loose. He does look very loose at the plate. He looks comfortable now. You saw him, make a good I forget
throw.
India. I think maybe it was India tried to steal second base. Threw him out from the knees, too.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, he's really kind of, like, settling into behind the plate, the catching position. He's catching Verlander tonight. Let's fucking go, dude. And, again, some guys who you didn't see last night. I mean, I'll have to see McNeil string some hits together. Alonso, a home run from him, I think would really rile the lineup. Give me the Mets here. I'll take him 4-2.
Verlander's line. What do you got?
7 innings, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks.
Solid.
Yeah.
And speaking of Alvarez, I do like that, because when he was first brought up, I think he started like, I don't know, 2 of the first 7 games.
Yeah.
Now it's like he's the primary catcher and Nito's the backup. So that's the way to go. And kind of similar with Volpe that, struggles early, but they're letting him just play through it. And that's what you got to do. You can't just the first sign of trouble, just bail on the guy. You have to let him take their lumps. And that's what both the Yankees and the Mets are doing with their top prospects. Speaking of the Yankees, and we are less than 2 hours away from first pitch here. So coming up quick
on the phone.
Yeah. We'll whether phone, car, we got it. The Fan, John and Susan, I always look forward to that. But anyway, Moeller on the hill. I mean, I'm just expecting similar results that we've seen the last couple of days in terms of the Yankee offense, operating at a high level, and the Yankee pitching being able to pitch, well enough here to win this decisively. And I mentioned the lineup. It's one of our top lineups that we have, with Stanton out. So I'm going to say Brito will actually get that first quality start of his career. 6 innings, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, 4 hits, and his 3rd win of the season.
Love it.
I think they'll knock out Moeller in like the 4th inning. He's going to be chased for 6 earned runs. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to get a 12-4 Yankee victory over the A's. Judge didn't get a hit yesterday, had 2 RBIs. He's going to hit a home run. And Anthony Volpe has been struggling, had that triple late in the game. I'm going to say he'll have 3 hits today as well. And a nice series sweep. I believe the Yankees' first series sweep of the season as they gear up for a huge long weekend 4-game series with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Love it, dude. My next pick here, I'm gonna go with the Braves here at home tonight, continuing their series against Boston. They beat them last night, I think 9-5, something crazy like that. Undecided right now in terms of who's starting for Atlanta, but for the Boston Red Sox, it is Brian Bello, dude. Our guy, who just keeps getting popped, it seems, honestly. He's 5.71 ERA. We talked about him, his first start last season. We've seen it basically from the get-go. Apparently, he worked with Pedro Martinez in the offseason. Hasn't really done well for him. I don't think he's pitched over 5 innings this season yet. His record is 1-1. He's pitched, 4 starts, 17 1/3 innings over 4 starts. Like I said, doesn't give you much length over those 17 1/3 innings. He has 19 Ks, but has given up 24 hits, 4 home runs, 11 earned runs, 6 walks over those innings as well. Just kind of gets lit up. And I feel like against this Braves lineup, they're going to take an absolute advantage of Bello here. We know all the talent that's on the Braves. I think it's going to be early and often for the Braves. Bello maybe last 3 innings, maybe, I think. Going in the Red Sox's bullpen here. The Red Sox, by the way, surprisingly 21-16 record.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, the taper's coming.
Right, the taper will come, and they do have. They still have Devers, right, who's been batting well. Alex Verdugo is okay. Like, they have some talent in their lineup. But I just think Braves, I think it's going to be something similar to last night, too. I would say like something along the lines like 10-3, 10-4.
Wow.
So 10-4 Braves.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Padres. I mentioned the Twins and, Correa getting booed and all of that. And Seth Lugo is on the hill for the Padres. He's pitched very well this year.
Yeah.
3.21 ERA. I think he's went 6 innings in 2 out of his last 3 starts. So getting that, and actually, if you go back further, 3 out of his last 5 starts, he's won 6 innings. And last time out against Cincinnati, 6 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So I think he will have success here against this Minnesota Twins team. And in the Padres, are kind of just a little behind the Yankees in terms of like getting back, getting going. I'm sure their fans are waiting, just like we have been waiting, to really kind of just get the offense going. And what we talk about Soto, he still hasn't broken out of it. And really the whole lineup's been inconsistent, but there's so much firepower there. You have to feel like it's around the corner. So I do think, the offense is going to get going in this game. And I think Lugo can give him another quality start, another 6 innings and 2 earned. And I want to say offensively, I could see Soto finally hitting a home run and Machado Give Xander 3 hits as well. So the offense really churning in this one. Pablo Lopez has been up and down for Minnesota, in his first year there since coming over from the Marlins. So I'm going to say at the end of the day, the Padres are going to win this one 7-4 over the Minnesota Twins. Josh Hader, an immaculate inning for a save, coming off that blown save against the Dodgers. Mookie Betts. These guys with these high fastballs, I understand they love their sweepers, but it's like you got to throw your sweeper for a ball and throw the fastball up and in. Their hands are going to be tied up. They can't hit 97 on the inside corner. You can't leave it over the middle of the plate. I know it's easier said than done, but Hader has been great other than that outing against the Dodgers, so I feel good there. But the Padres will pick up their 20th victory of the season. Lugo's 4th victory, his first year in San Diego.
I really hate the fact that Lugo isn't on the Mets anymore.
Yeah.
And to hear that they never even talked to him about it.
Why talk to him? Why would we do that?
Why would we do that, dude? All right. My next pick here. I think I'm going to go with Seattle tonight. Luis Castillo on the mound for Seattle. He's 2-0 record right now as a starter, 2.38 ERA. We've seen him run into some trouble this season. Most recently actually against Houston. He pitched 7 innings, but 4 earned runs, only 5 Ks. I feel like he threw a lot stronger stuff. Last year for sure against Toronto struggled a little bit. St. Louis struggled a little bit. But nonetheless, you see sometimes like Colorado dominant, 7 innings, no earned runs, like 8 Ks, so you see that he can dial in against, a lesser, I guess, lineup. Not to say the Rangers don't have a good lineup because they do have some talented hitters here, but I just feel like he's going to bode well. Dane Dunning on the mound for Texas. His numbers look pretty solid this season. They were kind of using him, Texas, that is, as more of a bullpen guy. So I think this is maybe like only his second start of the season. So only his second start. In that start, I believe, was his last outing against the Angels, where he went 5 innings, gave up no earned runs, only 2 hits and a walk. I know, like, that's pretty good for his first start, the length and everything, but I just feel like, Seattle diving into the Rangers bullpen, they don't really have a phenomenal bullpen. Dunning gave those 5 innings against LA, so they still ended up losing, I think, 5-2, whatever it was. So the bullpen can kind of implode here, and I think Seattle can string along some good hits. Kelenic being, probably one of the common names that I feel a lot of people know. Suarez as well. And then, Teoscar Hernandez, he has 7 home runs. So give me Seattle to get a game above 500 here, beating Texas. Let's say, like, I don't know, 3-1.
It's crazy when you look at the standings. There really are a lot of teams that we considered some of the upper echelon of the league struggling. I mean, the Houston Astros, who actually are going to be my last selection here, have only won 2 of their previous 7 games. So that's not what we've grown accustomed to with them. But I do feel against the Angels, obviously the Astros won last night, and they should have a nice advantage here with Javier on the hill, Christian Javier going up against Griffin Canning, whose ERA is over 5. And I've always liked Canning, but just seems like as he's not improving, he's not taking the steps forward that, everyone's expecting him to take. So I think this is a good opportunity for a struggling Houston offense. You look at some of these averages: Bregman hitting 213, Pena hitting 239, Abreu no home runs and hitting 218. Alvarez is doing all right, 284, 7 home runs, missed a little time with a hand injury. So I think their offense gets going here. A nice decisive victory. I think Christian Javier, 6 innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 earned run, all adds up to a 7-1 Astros victory over the Angels.
Love it, dude.
So let's get 2 New York wins, and hopefully some good news to bring to everybody tomorrow. Let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan Staal. Oh, my goodness. Svechnikov right back. Terrified and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliance from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right. So not much of a game last night for the New Jersey Devils, falling 6-1 at the hands of the Carolina Hurricanes. And, you had Vanacek pulled in the second for Schmid. But really, after it was 1-0 Devils, it all went downhill from there. Literally 6 straight goals for the Hurricanes, and just looking so much stronger than the Devils, in just dominating them in every fashion here. So they go up 3-1. And you look at the goals that the Hurricanes got. You had 2 from Nikos, his 3rd and 4th of the postseason. Pesce with his 2nd. Jesper Fast with his 4th. Brent Burns, a Tony favorite, his 1st. And Jordan Martinuk, his 3rd goal. They went with Frederik Andersen. Chokri had talked a lot about, where's Ranta? Tony clamoring for Ranta. But Andersen did the job.
He did.
21 of 22. And, we talked about the whole juggling act with the goaltenders. And especially just, you would think that after those first 2 games against the Rangers, that Vanacek's confidence was completely shot and that he probably shouldn't be starting. I think a terrible move by what is it? Lindsey Ruff is the Lindy Ruff, the Devils head coach. And I think one that possibly, I know this has been a good field year for the Devils, that could possibly result in him being fired. Vanacek, I don't think is mentally prepared to start a playoff game right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, fireable offense is so tough for a Devils team that's in this position. You think about the massive overhaul they did. They hired him. I think this is his 2nd year, 3rd year.
I believe it's his 2nd.
Yeah, I think it's his 2nd year as Devils head coach. I don't know, dude. I don't think it's that egregious of a move to be like, if we lose this, you're donezo. It's gonna be the coach going to his 3rd year. He's dealing with a lot of young talent that he's managing super, super well. So I think he's obviously done a great job. You look at the regular season and everything, and look at what Vanacek did in the regular season. He's kind of rough here is put into a pretty precarious and interesting situation. Also an uncommon situation of having, both of his goaltenders being absolutely new to this, not really seeing that neither of them have seen playoffs. Neither of them has really had an entire season. They're both really young rookies here. Vanacek being a diamond in the rough that you found, Schmid being a diamond in the rough too that you found. So I could see why he's so why it is the back and forth. Again, I was saying yesterday too, personally, I would have started Schmid. Just because of his track record so far in the postseason, because of Vanacek's postseason track record. I don't know why Schmid was really in much of a question to start. Again, behind closed doors, I'm sure, Ruff and the goaltending coach and, Vanacek and Schmid are all sitting down here to make a decision. But ultimately, I would have started Schmid, and I think it shows a lot that second period, giving up 5 goals, historically the worst period of hockey in the playoffs for the Devils. So obviously that's nothing was good there to really just get outplayed immediately. And again, it seems like the Devils, which kind of surprised me here, maybe a little inconsistent here, but they look tired. Obviously the last game I was like, they surprised me with how quick they were. Maybe they tired themselves out a little bit. And you saw, once they got down a few goals there in the second, you saw them trying to make these stretch passes from their own zone, deep in the neutral zone, to try and get something going. It just wasn't there for the Devils. It's never a good thing. You saw the Rangers do that against the Devils in desperation, making these stretch passes. They're tough passes to make. It doesn't always work for you. And even so, then what do you have? You have a lone guy entering the offensive zone. It's just not good. I think they kind of got a little nervous too, being down so much. Geez, would they score 3 goals in a minute.
Oh yeah, it was
like
insane.
it was so quick.
Every time we looked over, Michael, not paying attention, and all of a sudden, oh, what? And then no, how about how I caught some slack? The halftime show from 20 minutes till we came back from that or whatever the first period break, I was yelled at. Oh, you're not gonna put on the game. You're not putting on the game. It's like, Tony, have I not been here before? Do I not know timing? Do I not know when a game's going to come back from commercial? And do we all not want to watch commercials? I mean, I don't know.
No, yeah, I agree. You're on the top of the ball in terms of when to come back. But, I think Michael was just a little worried. You may get a little too enconced in the Yankee game.
When has that ever happened?
But yeah, it was obviously a super tough game for the Devils. You're down 3-1 now to a Carolina team that looks really good. So
it's over. It really
I don't think it is over. I think they can. I think
we're going to Carolina. I'm just saying.
Devils have a historically good on the road record. So this season.
How did they fare in this series on the road?
Obviously not great. But I mean, it's 3-1. They haven't done well anywhere.
I know there's so many layers to this, and it's not just about a goalie. But I'm telling you, these guys are human beings. It messes with their psyche.
Yeah,
the flip-flop. I really think that's the reason for their performance in this series so far.
No,
I really do.
I think you're totally right. That's definitely something to look at. Because you got that goal by Timo Meier. Like, that was a good goal to start off the game. You started off the game correctly, but also it's like, where's everyone else too in the team?
Yeah. So, be interesting to see, how they respond tomorrow. The other game from last night, to probably
Stars, baby,
your happiness here. The Stars 6-3 over the Kraken. A game which they led 4-0. So you had a goal by Ben on a power play in the first, Harley with his first of the postseason in the second, Domi with his second, and then Pavelski made it 4-0. Jaden Schwartz with the answer for Seattle made it 4-1, but then Roop Hintz with his sixth goal, guy I'm not familiar with, but 6 goals up to this point in the postseason, not too shabby, making it 5-1. And then Seattle would answer in the third period with a Schwartz and Larson goal. Schwartz with his 5th of the postseason, Larson with his first. But then Domi made it 6-3, nail in the coffin, with a little over 2 minutes left in this game. His 3rd goal of the postseason, 2nd of the game. Series all tied up at 2 apiece after each team split their home and road games here. Oettinger 16-19, so wasn't challenged too much. Grubauer pulled late after allowing 5 goals on 22 shots.
Was he hurt? Do you know?
I did not see anything. I'll check. But kind of odd that there's so little action in terms of shots in this game. 22 for the starting goalie, for Seattle, and then 17, for the Stars. I mean, that's not a lot of shots.
Yeah, no, not at all. The Stars did a really good job. I said this before, just like honestly for the
injury, by the way.
No injury. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just like I said for the Maple Leafs too. The one thing the Stars really need, are for their big name guys to show up. That's why they kind of lost. I think the first, their losses, each of those losses, I guess, except for the one where I think it was Pavelski, right, had like 4 goals, but everyone else didn't show up. You need all of your stars, all of your guys to show up and get on the score sheet. That's exactly what happened. Starting it early with Jordy Bennett on the power play too. I think the Stars ended up going 2 for 3 in the power play, taking advantage of the Kraken's mistakes. Kraken were playing an incredibly physical game, as they have been. I think something like 43, 45 hits collectively. Stars adjust by making quicker passes. They just move the puck. The puck is always going to move faster than the man. So that's why, the Kraken were laying hits, but the Stars, with their veteran players showing up, know how to kind of avoid those hits, make them a little bit less impactful while moving the puck. You mentioned Max Domi with two goals yesterday. He was a huge acquisition.
A favorite of yours.
Yeah, Max Domi, dude. And then Pavelski too on the power play, gets his 6th of the postseason. Ben and Pavelski show up. Those are your veteran players who you want to be showing up in the playoffs. They both have been here before. They know what to do. Coming into this game when they were down 2-1 here, that's great. And then maybe having those guys show up for the Stars, can kind of free up Robertson a little bit more to feel comfortable, feel like he can get more confidence in his play. He's one of the top hockey players in the league this year. And you mentioned Hintz. 25-year-old, I think Switzerland, whatever. I think he had like over 70 points this season in the regular season, pretty evenly, 34 goals, 37 assists, something like that. He was another, youthful draft pick that the Stars kind of, cashed in a little bit on this season. So, I mean, if these guys are all firing, I mean, you saw how dominant they were against Seattle. They can't really keep up, like the Stars had a great plan. Odinger stayed clean, only faced, however many shots you mentioned, like not 22, whatever it was. And he stayed clean. That's exactly what you want. That's like what the Stars looked like during the regular season. That's why they were one of the top favorites coming in from the West here. So let's see what they can do continuing the series.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it went 7. Up to this point, they had played pretty well. I see Prefer's comment there. I actually heard them talking about this actually on the warm-up show. I was up and at him this morning on the road before 6. And, before Boomer and Gio, it's Al Dukes and Jerry Recco, and Al is the producer. Jerry does the updates for the show. They were talking about this. And I guess I forgot what the guy's name. I forgot what the guy's name is, but you know how the Sports Center anchors, they try to do like that, their one-liners when they're doing highlights. So he did this, and I guess he didn't realize that this guy is an indigenous NHL player, and was highly offended and like upset.
The player was.
Yes, but then I guess they had a heart-to-heart, if you will, and were able to sort everything out. And specifically, the player said that he could tell that John Anderson's not a bad guy, and he accepted his apology. So
that's nice.
Kind of interesting. Usually, when you have a scenario like that, it's not, usually it doesn't get rectified like that. So I think it's nice that they were able to do that.
That was pretty nice that both people are kind of mature and understanding that to kind of get through what happened. I don't even know who they're talking about though.
They said the name. It wasn't anybody.
Toilet paper? Did it sound like Charmin? Like, I don't know what other toilet
paper.
Toilet paper brands. Go. Yeah, I don't know.
He's on the Knights, I know.
Oh, okay.
So maybe we'll hear from him, today.
Yeah.
But we got 2 games, doubleheader ESPN, Maple Leafs, Panthers, Knights, and Oilers. And of course, the Panthers looking to close this series out at home, sweeping the Maple Leafs away. What do you think here? Any last gasp effort for the Maple Leafs here to avoid the sweep and at least get a gentleman's or no?
I mean, it's not looking great. I don't know if you heard, but Samsonov benched.
Okay.
What's the guy? I forget his first name. Something Wall, like WOLL. I forget his last name. Andrew, maybe. Actually, it's right here. Sorry. Joseph Wall, dude. Getting his first postseason start here. Rookie over there from St. Louis, Missouri, actually, 24 years old. You look at his stats for this season, 6-1-0, which is nice. 2.16 goals against an average, 9.22 save percentage. Small sample size, but he had. I guess actually he did play in Game 3 against Tampa Bay, which is nice. There he had gave up 3 goals. Gave up 1 goal. Okay, I see on 4 saves. I guess came in late. I don't know, dude. It's kind of tough that the Maple Leafs are kind of relying on this Wall guy and not like a Matt Murray. That Matt Murray is still backing up Wall, this rookie. It's kind of pretty interesting. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is kind of one of those decisions that can get you canned for starting this rookie over a veteran goaltender like Matt Murray, who's been in situations like this before. If Wall doesn't really work out, you have to pull him. It doesn't look good on the coach for sure. And then on top of that, I mean, this series has been an absolute dumpster fire for Toronto. I said it again after Game 1. Same thing with Dallas. You need your stars, like the Maple Leafs especially. They need their guys to show up, like Jonathan Tavares, Austin Matthews, like Michael Bunting, Mitch. All these guys don't have anything on their score sheet this entire series. Like they really barely anything, dude. Like all these guys are just absolutely falling flat. There's no urgency. They're playing stupid hockey. They're not advancing the puck well. They're not even retaining the puck very well. And Florida is just keeping their constant pressure all series long, which is why you see them win the first 3 games. It just seemed like Toronto Maple Leafs are absolutely checked out, which is ridiculous because, I mean, they're like one of the favorites to go on.
Oh yeah,
especially at this point, like especially against the Panthers. The Panthers story by now. The Maple Leafs have more than enough talent to come back and win this series. But it's just a matter of those guys showing up, and they haven't yet. So all signs point to Florida winning this one for me.
But what about if you open a window,
it pours.
Like if they win, let's say they blow them out, the Maple Leafs tonight, then is the window opened and you'd feel like pretty good that they maybe could get another one and then possibly try to get to a game 7?
Yeah, no, again, like if their guys show up
yeah,
and play the hockey they played in the regular season, even in the first round of the playoffs, absolutely, dude. But right now, like Sergei Bobrovsky has all the confidence in the world,
which is crazy,
which is ridiculous. He's looking elite.
Yeah.
You know, you have no answer for the Kachuk line. Verhaeghe looks great, dude. Anthony Duclair looks good for Florida. Like everyone on Florida is just they're just wheeling and dealing right now.
And it almost makes me feel like that they're almost destined to get to the Stanley Cup, because last year they were the hot team, the big record, the big flop. We've seen that happen, and then the team's not as good in the regular season the next year, but gets over the hump in the postseason. So something to think about.
President's Trophy they won last year.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
the President's Trophy curse. I do think Toronto's going to win this one. I think they're jacked up and don't want to get swept. So I'm going to say they win this one 6-2 and get a lot of offense. All the Buntings and the Tavarises and the Matthews, they get on the scoreboard early and often and extend this series to a 5th game. I see Prefer mentioning the guy's name is Zach Whitecloud. I actually looked it up myself, and that was the name. I remembered it right away.
Really?
So yeah,
he was playing really well too.
But you think, I mean, is that a stretch? But by Anderson I know you didn't actually hear what he said, but I don't know. I feel like that was just one of those, like, almost like a dad joke in a way, or no?
I mean, I feel like it typically is, but I mean, if the guy feels offended, I guess he feels offended.
No, I'm more just saying in terms of Anderson, like that wasn't, like, it wasn't funny. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, maybe you didn't think it was funny, but sometimes like a lot of these one-liners kind of are like,
do I not laugh at half the things that you say, Tony? Like, I think things are funny, but it's like they got to be well executed.
Yeah, but half isn't enough, Brian. I don't understand though I mean, I guess maybe you shouldn't say it, but like I don't know what White Cloud, like what that, like how he could like
I guess he just said like Zach Whitecloud with a goal. Wow, that sounds like a toilet paper. What a terrible name. That's a toilet paper brand.
Oh, that's literally what he said?
Yes. Like I think he said terrible name.
It wasn't even like a joke, that it was just like a
Well, it was a joke, but like I'm saying, I know you were doubting it, but it wasn't literally was not funny.
It wasn't really, he just said like, oh wow, that sounds like a toilet paper, but he didn't like make I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so definitely not funny there. And the other game tonight, 10 o'clock, Oilers hosting the Golden Knights here. So
you know the plan.
Oilers looking to even up this series. I know that they will, but I want to hear why you're going to tell me that they're not.
Again, I mean, the Golden Knights did a great job in limiting Edmonton's power play. That is your like, that's your path to victory, honestly, at this point. Because you know Edmonton, like their defense was kind of shoddy. Skinner, you're going to get to, it's totally fine. You can beat them 5-on-5. You've shown that. You know, Vegas does a great job too of playing physical, playing gritty. Marshall, you saw like finally kind of, you know, he had 2 goals, I think, last game, first 2 of the postseason. You know, that was someone who was relied on a lot. Jack Eichel had a goal and 2 assists too. I mean, again, like they showed up last game. They shut down McDavid. They shut down Draisaitl. I think I forget who had the goal, honestly, for Edmonton. But you absolutely shut them down on the power play too, 0 for 2, while limiting their opportunities. I mean, that is your recipe for success. So let's do it again. Let's go.
What's the score?
I'll say 5-2.
I'm gonna say 5-0 Oilers.
Skinner's not getting shut out. There's no way, dude.
McDavid,
no,
4 goals.
That's ridiculous.
And then Draisaitl, cup of coffee at the end.
Yeah.
New series. You know it's going 7. I know deep down you know it's going 7.
It could. I don't think so.
It could? No, I don't think so.
I mean, it could go 7. It's a possibility, but I don't think it will.
And then other than that, I know we're giving Craigo a shot at 12, but if we could quickly go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the 3, and the Lakers win the game.
Yeah. We'll talk about that another time, but something about a party. Anyway, We saw the Sixers 115-103 over the Celtics yesterday. So now the Celtics have backed themselves in the hole here as they face elimination. Game 6 in Philadelphia. And Joel Embiid really stepping up. And it's nice to see after he struggled with injuries, missing the game earlier in this series. But he gave them 33 points, 7 rebounds, 10 of 11 from the free throw line. So nice to see your big man making shots. James Harden, 17 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. So the rare time you feel like he's being a team player. PJ Tucker cleaning up the mess there, 3.7 boards. Tobias Harris, 16 points, 11 rebounds. And Tyrese Maxey, a career playoff high, 30 points, 7 rebounds. Including 6 3-pointers. So Philadelphia as a whole, 40% for 3-point range. That's how you get it done. And really what propelled them here was a 30-point third quarter, outscoring the Celtics by 7. And really just every quarter of this game, other than the fourth, when the game was wasn't in the balance anymore, they outscored Boston. So that's how you're going to win a game. Boston, 12 of 28 from 3-point range, only 31%. Tatum, 3 of 11 from 3-point range, missed 16 shots, had 36 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. All those missed shots, though, those are going to come back to bite. But I would say, for Boston here, the key next game, you need efficiency all around. Jaylen Brown was pretty good, 24 points, 6 rebounds, including 3 3-pointers. So I think him and Tatum just need to be firing on all cylinders. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think that the Sixers, they're destined to finally get over the hump, them, and Doc Rivers. And I would not be surprised if they find themselves in the NBA Finals. We'll have to wait and see there. A series that I think is going to be different in terms of it's going to go 7. We've seen the home team defend their home turf throughout this series, and that happened again last night as Jokic, another triple-double, 29, 13, and 12, taking a 3-2 lead as they head to Game 6 in Phoenix. So a lot of pressure on Phoenix here to win this game and not get eliminated in the second round. And Durant, too, because he really feels like he has something to prove. He hasn't gotten to, over that hump other than when he's played on the Warriors. So, this would be a pretty big failure. All the capital, all the money spent on this team, and then to lose in the second round. So they're going to look to do that in Game 6 and force a Game 7, which I think they will. You're not going to get Durant missing 14 shots again. He had 26, 11, and 7, 28 for Devin Booker, 8 of 19 from the floor. So just a lot of missed shots. If you look at it, 50 missed shots, literally. So that's a lot of shots to miss, shooting 43% from the floor. Other than Jokic, Murray had 19, Porter Jr. with 19, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. So overall, strong play from Denver, including 48% from 3-point range on 13 makes. That's going to get the job done. So it will be an exciting Game 6. And like I said, I expect that one to go 7. Tonight, you have the Knicks looking to stave off elimination here at the Garden, down 3-1 in this series. Miami just has really picked it up after that Game 2 loss and kind of dominating the Knicks. I do feel like they're going to give the fans one last glimmer of hope here and find a way to win this one. Michael kind of alluded to it yesterday. Barrett has to have a big game. I think he will. I think Brunson will as well. Julius, if he limits the stupid plays, the bad shots, I think they'll be able to win this one in a 90s style game, 95-91, going back to Miami for Game 6 here. Last game of the night, 10 o'clock, Lakers at Warriors. Lakers looking to advance to the conference finals here for the first time since that 2020 championship. I think they get the job done. And you could tell this team is just firing on all cylinders. LeBron, I think is really motivated too to get his 5th title. He's playing at a high level, and he's really making sure Anthony Davis is the vocal part of this offense. You saw that when they won the championship, and they're going through him again. He's coming up big with the rebounds. That's huge. And then all the additions that they made, have really panned out well, whether, it's, Beasley, whether it's Russell, whether it's Vanderbilt, all these guys are playing big roles. And then Austin Reeves is unbelievable. I know he's a favorite of Chokeries, but just the intensity that he brings, the elite 3-point shooting, I think, it's going to bode well for him. So I'm going to say the Lakers will eliminate the defending champions here, 121-108, sending Steph Curry packing and LeBron on his quest for a 5th NBA title. I know, Tony, you're thinking, no way he's going to win it this year. I just know that's what you're thinking without you saying it.
Yeah, especially with you not staying up for the games, dude.
They've been playing well. Why mess with it, right? Yeah. Right. But next round, I'll probably stay up for a couple. It's just the 5 o'clock alarm, 12:30. It's just so you've done it more than anybody. You would know. I mean, it's just not fun.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah,
can't do it.
But other than that, Tony, anything else you wanted to mention here as we wrap up?
No, I don't think so. Yesterday, Mike released the Yankee vlog with you and Matt. Go check it out on our YouTube. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun. It's definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
So check it out, dude.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed, watching the finished product there. I really encourage everyone to do that and look out for more. There's definitely gonna be more vlogs coming your way this season. We are jacked up, and just watching it just got me so excited to be at the game tomorrow. Just hearing that home run sound and the passion of the fans. And I think, too, a nice decisive win over the A's today. That place is going to be jacked up. And if we can get off to a good start against the Rays, Herman on the hill. So, obviously we'll talk about that tomorrow.
You going tomorrow?
Yeah. Tomorrow. It's a night game, though.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. So I know last week, Matthew got you confused with the schedule, but I'm here, baby.
Matthew's been getting confused with the days.
Yeah. What day is it? One comment on the way out here.
Matthew. No. But first, as Russell Westbrook can get an NBA championship ring if the Lakers win the title, he qualifies for a ring by playing half with the Lakers.
See, that stuff, I just feel like, you know what? Yeah, have your ring, but it's
everyone
an empty
knows.
Ring. It's an empty ring. So go ahead, take it, Russ. But that's gonna be a bite. But anyway, would really like to thank everybody for tuning in today and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, all the episodes of Screen Time, Sportsport, The Dream is Free, Gaming Corner, all of our vlogs, including, like Tony said, the Yankee Stadium vlog, which was released yesterday. Definitely check that out, as well as the merch, Spring in the Air, downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy their day. Let's go Yankees. Tony's saying let's go Mets. And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.